Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Catching Cars. We are currently in a 2026 Kia Stonic with the 1.0 T-GDI engine, and the 48-volt mild hybrid system hooked up to a 6-speed manual transmission. I've been driving this for the past couple of weeks now thanks to Kia Deutschland, Kia Germany. I want to give you guys my review of this vehicle. What are my impressions of it? And I want to start off with fuel economy. I don't know if you can see it there, but we have 6 liters per 100 kilometers, and that was throughout my entire 2 weeks of testing this vehicle. I drove 3,000 kilometers with this car actually. So 3,000 kilometers, 6 liters per 100 kilometers. Average is really not great, right? Especially if we consider that this is a tiny little 1-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine with the 48-volt mild hybrid technology and all that stuff, right? In a pretty lightweight, small crossover, or more like a hatchback type vehicle, right? And that is the downside. Whenever you need power from these little tiny engines, they do consume some fuel, right? They have to work pretty hard to move these vehicles. Overall fuel economy is still decent though. And the power with this 1.0 T-GDI is actually pretty good as well. It actually felt pretty zippy, pretty nippy. I don't know where I got that from, but it felt decent, right? Of course, it's not a rocket ship. It's not crazy fast, but it is fast enough. And I spoke about this with the Kia Picanto that I've reviewed recently as well. Having a manual transmission again is just so much fun, especially if it's paired to an engine that is not really that powerful, because then you can just roll your own gears and really ring it out and have some fun without going anywhere near the speed limits. Now, of course, this is significantly faster than that Kia Picanto was, has almost double the power, but you can still have some fun with this without getting into too much trouble. How is the comfort with this vehicle? I said I took this on a couple of road trips, and that is because the suspension is very, very good. It soaks up bumps very nicely, and overall this was a pretty good road trip vehicle, especially considering the class of vehicle this is in. What did bother me a little bit was wind noise. Wind noise here is just a little bit louder than I would like, right? It is a little bit louder, but therefore, for the price, I think the interior quality is very, very good. Kia is really on a roll. I'm telling you guys, the interior quality here is not quite premium, but it's near premium. I couldn't tell a difference in quality between this and a Volkswagen Golf, or maybe even an Audi A3, right? The interior quality here is decent. Yes, you have some harder touch materials here, but it's not the super cheap stuff. It's like that kind of cheap stuff, right? You have a nice, almost perfect leather wrapped steering wheel here. You have a drive mode button selector here in the steering wheel. How cool is that, please? And you know, Kia is also one of those companies that does listen to their customers. There is one thing here that I guess it's a win and a loss at the same time. We have this panel here for our climate controls and our media controls, right? So we do have some knobs for, you know, climate control and media control, but you have to switch back and forth between these. And I think there would be enough real estate here for Kia to just add like a second layer here, like this same thing beneath it. Why don't we get that? You know, that would be great, but we'll see what Kia does in the near future. But overall, this was a really decent package, a really decent vehicle, especially considering the price. Of course, everything is exploding in prices right now. Really like that old Mercedes there in orange. That's very rare. Everything is exploding in prices, but this is a very decent package. I did want to touch on a couple of things. The touchscreen itself is pretty good and efficient. It's also pretty quick and snappy. I did like that. Only on initial startup, it does take a little while to boot up, and it's especially annoying because here in Europe, all the assistance technology, all the annoying nannies are always on when you start up the vehicle, and to deactivate them you have to go into the screen. Now there are some shortcut buttons here. There's a mute button here that you can push and hold to deactivate or at least mute ISA, Intelligent Speed Assist, or ISA they call it in Europe. So you can mute that here. I don't know what's so intelligent about ISA anyway, because it always reads the wrong signs. But yeah, that's possible. And then you can also press and hold this button here to deactivate lane assist. But for all the other stuff, you have to go into the menus, and I did have a couple of problems in these past 2 weeks with like the front collision and, you know, just a couple of annoyances, right? And you guys know how I feel about assistance technology. It's just not perfected. It's just not ready yet. And I'm gonna keep mentioning this until we find a solution. But yeah, so overall the screen is decent. I do also like the gauge cluster here. It's not really that configurable. There are a couple of things you could do. You could change up what you see there in the middle. And then if I change my drive mode here on the steering wheel, which is really cool, you know, it changes the layout just a little bit and changes the colors. But yeah, so that's possible. And I also wanted to mention the 48 volt mild hybrid system. I really don't get along with this 48 volt mild hybrid system too well from Kia. Now with the manual, it's not quite as bad as it was with the DCT, but still, I just don't like it. I want to coast when I let off the gas, right? And there's no way to change the regen that it does. So now, for instance, I'm gonna let off the gas now. Do you see how quickly it's decelerating? I don't like that. I just don't like it. Now, like I said, with the DCT, it was much worse because here you can kind of work around it and just put it in neutral, and then it'll coast, right? It'll do what you want it to do. And also you could use that for like engine braking, right? Like back then, if you had a manual, you were coming up to a corner hot or whatever, you know, you didn't want to use the brakes too much, you would downshift into like third and then use engine braking. This is kind of like engine braking now as well. So that's decent. But like I said, I would prefer to be able to set up the regen braking to a low or minimum mode or turn it off completely, because some people like it, some just don't. Give us options. Please just give us options, right? But yeah, that'll be my take on the Kia Stonic. Oh, one more thing. This Kia Stonic still has a regular cruise control, which I prefer. It is so much better in crowded areas like Europe. Somebody's always cutting in front of you on the highway, Autobahn, or whatever. And then the adaptive cruise control is always hitting the brakes for no reason. The regular cruise control, I can set it. It keeps the speed until I tell it to stop or slow down or whatever, right? That is so much better. Please continue to give us regular cruise control. If you want adaptive cruise control, that's fine, but give us ways to set it up to be regular cruise control as well, right? But that'll be it for my review of this Kia Stonic. Overall, it is a great package. Like I said, I enjoyed my time with it. I took it on some longer road trips, and it was very comfortable and accommodating, and it does what it's supposed to do, right? It's nothing special, nothing too crazy. I do like the design of it as well. I think they did a pretty good job of redesigning the Stonic. Of course, this is not my cup of tea, but overall, I think it is a decent little crossover hatchback vehicle, right? And that'll be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. A huge thanks again to Kia Deutschland, Kia Germany for this vehicle. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to catch you guys in the next video.